Hello, welcome back to Scrapbooks Made Easy with Beth. Today I am going to use the new C's Please, and I'll just show you what all comes in the bundle. Super pretty papers, great for Alaska cruise, good for Florida, good for anything tropical. And then if you know me, you know I love the Fast to Fab papers. So these are pre-decorated papers, double-sided. And all you have to do if you want to is put a little bit of embellishments and your pictures on and you're good. So that's the paper packs. And I'll turn this over so I can show you. These are the laser cut borders. So you got some mountains, you got the anchors, a cruise, some water, got some whales in there. So those are the laser borders. There's also your 3 sticker strips, including the borders. So you have these, I like these with all the words on them. Your matte packs, so I use these as embellishments. I also cut them in half sometimes, or just use them straight up as to mat your photos on. And there's also some laser cut mats. So there's only a couple of these. They're double-sided with different colors on them as well. So I'm going to use some of those for embellishments on the page. So I'll show you that in a few minutes. All right, the first thing I'm going to do, set these aside, is I have picked these 2 colors that I want to use. The first one, I am going to cut out of the middle. So if you've used our trimmer, you have the little line here, and then of course the lines there. And I am going to cut off 1 inch, but I also want it to be 1 inch. So if you look here, you've got your 1 inch line. So I'm going to start it by lining up the white line with the 1 inch. And then I'm going to end it 1 inch early as well. So you push, go down to your white line lines up, and that's what I end up with. I'm going to do it again on all 4 sides. So I'm cutting out the middle so I can use it later. It's a great way to save paper. And one more time. All right, so now I have the middle cut out, and this I can use later. So now this piece, I just want to cut off 3/4 of an inch on 2 of the sides. So I want it to be a little bit smaller. All right, so now I can put this here. All right, and then now I have this to use as a mat. All right, so if you haven't used our border maker system, so you pull up the tray, put in your paper so it's nice and snug in the tray, then close that back up. And then I'm using the Sea Star for this today. So you're just gonna cut out several of these, which I've already done, so you don't have to watch me cut all of them. And then I have the Sea Stars. Like I said, I've already cut out several of them. You did not need to watch me cutting them all out. So I have those. Let me get rid of all the punch poo, as we call it. All right, now what I'm going to do is take the Sea Stars, and I'm going to place them, use my scissors, and I'm going to place them just going down the page, and I'll trim them. That's why I'm not putting this down yet. So I can trim those off. Again, repositionable tape runner, you know I love that. I'm going to go down, and then I can cut this off. And I can do another one. Space them however far apart you like them. Trim those off. Some of them I'll trim those better in a little bit because I'm gonna put a mat in here. You can cut them in half if you need to. I'll move that one up a little bit. All right, so now you're gonna trim these off. You can use your trimmer if you want to. All right, so I'm gonna do one more. Again, that's the, see this one doesn't go all the way, so I know I'm going to have a mat there, so I can cut it and just move it down. So that's where I'm gonna have a photo. All right, before I put any more on, well, I'll just go on the top. I'm not gonna go all the way down to the middle, so I know I can cut those. And then I can use these up here too. All right, now we're gonna cut out our mat, and I'm going to make that 6 by 8, so you can put a 5 by 7 picture on it. So 6 and then turn this by 8. If you want to, you can take another sheet of paper and mat it. I am not going to on this one. So this will come across, and now we can use the little pieces that were left over to come down and finish this one as well. Now that we have that on and we know where it needs to go. So kind of line that up and then trim these off as well. All right, so there is our main page. Let's go ahead and stick this down. Go ahead and run your tape runner here so you can mat that to it. All right, now we're all stuck together. And now, like I said, you can use embellishments. I wanted to use the, here it is, like where did it go? This here you can put as an embellishment, or if you feel like that's too big, I can't tell if I like that or not, you can go ahead and use some of these. My heart belongs to the ocean. And I'm just gonna set that there in case I wanna put something underneath it. Might wanna put a tree or something else coming out from underneath it. I am going to just leave that. And now down here, I'll put a little cluster. So maybe I'll use a couple little trees. And another saying. Splash zone. Down by the sea. Cruising together. Here, let's do Bon Voyage. So we can do something like that. You can use some foam squares if you want. And just stick your corner down. So simple page using our border maker system. And like I said, this is the new C's Please designer paper pack. All right, everyone, see you next week.